So, yes, we are talking about, investing and growing, of course, your investment portfolio. What, in your experience and from your perspective, would be some viable investment options from a Chama perspective that would, of course, help, for example, like a Chama like ours, get to that? I know in your conversation you mentioned there's a company, they bought shares.
Yeah.
And also here, we're also considering how the inflation rate looks like, how, all those things. So maybe if there are maybe your top 2, top 3 investment options that Chamas really seriously need to be thinking about in 2025. Yes.
That's a very good question. But I really believe in something called investing with purpose.
Okay.
What many people are doing is investing for fun. And investing for fun never takes you anywhere. We're just happy. That's my plot. That's our apartment. People are just happy to say that. But it never really changes their lives. So let's refer to is Denari. Yeah? Denari. It's very clear to me what Denari wants. Denari wants to move its members from being employees to owners of a company that can outlast all the members, therefore creating multi-generational wealth. Isn't it? Now, that company that is going to be of great value in this world is going to be worth something, isn't it? So maybe our idea is to be able to maybe I'm trying to think what is the big gap in the market. You get what new thing can you add to the world? Let me just give an example. We want to be a big importer of goods from China to Kenya. That will be our business, and we'll bring them cheap so that people can be able to buy and afford, isn't it? What capital do we need? Call it 50 million, isn't it? So we see we don't have, number one, we recognize our problem today, why we are not doing that business. We don't have what? 50 million. Yeah. So 50 million is our goal. So our Chama, we can fairly say we're in a capital accumulation phase. In a capital accumulation phase. There are some Chamas which are not in capital accumulation phase. They already have all the beyond capital accumulation phases, they will be in a capital multiplication phase, where now you're moving from just putting money together to rapidly growing, multiplying it.
Yeah.
So you see, what I would recommend to that Chama and what I would recommend to this Chama is very different. The goals are
different,
and therefore the investing purpose should be different. So what I would advise Denari today is, how can we safely put our money together and assure all our members that by 2030 we'll have 50 million shillings to our name to start a massive business in the country, isn't it? So the idea of capital accumulation, how I will invest that money, maybe first of all, a money market fund is very important because we are in a contribution phase. Everybody must contribute. So when you contribute your money, where does your money go to? Where do you contribute to?
A money market fund.
Do you contribute to a bank account or to...
No, directly to the money market fund.
Exactly. And that's very important. So that's a very smart thing, and for anybody who is listening to this, that's very smart, because there is no idle time for your contributions. So you're parking money in the money market fund, and as you're parking money in money market fund, it is also earning interest. Now, because you don't need that money tomorrow or next year, then you, with your financial advisor, you'll agree When this money gets to 1 million, we move it to a fixed income fund. Isn't it? And then, so you have a plan around it. So always you have a small amount of money that is putting together, accumulating in the money market fund, gets to 1 million, sweep it to a fixed income fund or another high income yielding product. Until we get to 50 million. 50 million. So that question you asked is not a question that we can give a blanket answer.
Yeah.
It is sensitive to where the stage of the Chama is. Are you in a capital accumulation phase, or are you in a capital multiplication phase?
Yeah.
Now, once you're done with capital multiplication, you enter into capital preservation. Now you've gone to 1 billion. You don't want to move from 1 billion to 50 million. How do we preserve that? The strategies keep changing. The one person who should consistently be with you is your financial advisor.
Yeah.
Through all those stages. Yeah.
That's
Make
right.
sense?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the key thing here you can see is the mindset. If the cumulative mindset of the Chama is limited, your dreams will also be limited.
Yeah.
But if you are unlimited, and which I hope so, and if you are limited, you need to introduce people who are unlimited, isn't it?
Right.
Like this conversation we are having is very unbound, isn't it?
Yes.
So that we open up our thinking. Like, hey, me, I want to operate with freedom. And that's a very powerful word. The end game of anything that we are discussing today, whether it is an individual or as a Chama, is freedom. If freedom is not the output at the end, it is not worth the journey. You get it? So that freedom is not how much money we'll have in our bank account. It's not the great company that we'll be having. It's not all those things. It's we will get to a place where like I can do anything that I wish to do in the world. I can be anywhere in the world. Yeah. I can own a home. Yeah. And you can live your life the way you would want to live. And that is also the greatest wealth we can leave our children with. Is not the money, it is the mindset we'll leave them with. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me, I want my children to have unlimited thinking. Because also, nothing in life is guaranteed. So we can actually start a great company, we can even do all the things that we've spoken here, and it is successful.
Yeah.
But guess what, Kate? Some weird thing happens in the world, and everything crashes, and we lose everything. But there's one thing we will never lose, is our mindset. And because we still have that mindset, we'll bounce back and create more wealth than even what we had before. So you can have a lot of money in the bank, you can have a lot of assets everywhere in the world, but you're still poor in the mind. That's the big thing. Yeah.
Understood.
So I think we need to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
And we can start with you, Andrea. After having this conversation, and you'll be having your next Chama meeting, what are the takeaways that you would want to see implemented in your Chama?
Okay. So, strategy, I think, is one of them. We have plans, but we've not really, or rather we see the end goal, a clear end goal. There's no like light per se at the end of the tunnel. So just having those conversations on strategy and what exactly we want to see.
Yeah.
And then that challenge on, we've been thinking, look, we've been really thinking down there. So just how do we broaden our perspectives? How do we multiply? Also, not also to being too hard on ourselves, because on the stage that we're still honestly at
It's called like accumulation.
accumulation phase.
Mm-hmm.
So just also not being too hard on ourselves, because I think we can beat ourselves a bit. So those are the two key things, just strategy and changing our mindsets on that particular thing. Yeah, that thing for homes has scared me. But yeah, I think that those are my key takeaways from this. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think one key takeaway that I've captured, okay, there are several, but let me just highlight, is not to be afraid to start. I think one of that has been a struggle. I don't think we have said it is fear, but it's the questions of what if, what if it doesn't work, but we forget the what if it actually works. And I think you've painted a very good picture of what it looks like when it works. So one thing, even in those Chama meetings, is constant reminder not to walk in fear. Again, of course, you have to have done your research, be wise, but I feel like fear has held us back, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, or knowingly or unknowingly. So not to be afraid. The other thing that I've also captured is that it is possible. Listening to you has helped shape my perspective on those things that seem sometimes unachievable are actually achievable when you have a good plan, a financial advisor who works with you because they are an expert. So that's very, very important. The third thing that I'll end with is understanding the phase that we are at as a Chama, and I think Andrea has also highlighted, because the phase where you are at also determines the steps and the decisions that you make. And so for us as Denari, we will definitely be walking a journey that is informed also on the phase where we are. And that's what I'll constantly always bring out in our Chama. So thank you so much for this. Yes.
I think my key take home is it doesn't have to be my responsibility to figure out what we can do with the money. Making sure I have like someone who is trained, a financial advisor who's able now to take us to heights that we may not be able to, because I think one of the things that may have limited us is trying to figure it out and realizing we're trying to move from a space of being financially clueless to having all the information we need to have to be able to get to the final goal, but just coming to the realization that there's someone out there who's able to do all of that on my behalf is very reassuring, and I think that's something we will definitely take home. Onto what Andrea has said, I think just having a clear-cut vision on exactly where we want to be, where we are headed. With that as the foundation, then it makes the journey a little bit easier, so that if at any point we fall off track, we're able to remember that's the goal. So how do we get back on track and head towards the goal? I think lastly is stewardship. Just realizing that yes, we are stewards and we are custodians of the money that we are, the ability that we've been given by God to be able to create wealth, but then realizing that there's so many aspects that we can be able to handle with that money, and there's so many, how you've mentioned it, it's the wealth is there, it's limitless. Just realizing that the stake that we can have in it as Denari will be defined by how we shift our minds to realize that we have the capacity and we can be able to gain a lot more other than what we previously thought. So it's just generally a shift, mind, how we think, how we view things, how we set our goals, how we now forge towards achieving those goals. Yes.
As the cheerleader, what's just the one thing when you meet next time you'll be like, guys, this is the thing. Our next move from here must be this one.
Okay. It would be going back to the basics, defining a clear vision that sits across for all of us. Something that we can agree, because then again, unless we agree, we're not able to move together. So we agree fully on basically where we would want this investment group to take us. And when we talk about multi-generational wealth, how are we defining this multi-generational wealth so that then we're able to start from the basics and start building towards that. And definitely consider having a financial advisor. Yeah, consider having a financial advisor.
No, that's an option.
Yes, that is very important. Yeah.
I think that's a very good thing. If you have a financial advisor, you will relieve yourself of a big weight that you're carrying, that you have somebody else who can help you to think and put everything on paper. So that then your dreams stop just being dreams. They become a plan with a clear course of action to that. So I strongly agree with that direction. It's been amazing talking to you, wonderful ladies. I know that you are not the only members of the group, so maybe you can give a shout out to at least who else is in the group. When they get to listen to this, they feel they were part of this. I am very sensitive to group dynamics here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How much am I able to say?
Just the two.
It's just the two.
Yeah.
So again, we are 5. Oh, looking at the camera, looking at you, looking at the camera, looking at you.
It's okay.
All right, great. We are 5, as said, the 3 of us, and our international, her name is Elizabeth, and our powerful man of God, the only man in the group, Stephen Shuri.
Stephen Shuri.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So we give them a shout out.
Yes.
And we wish you guys all the very best.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate this conversation. It's not just enlightening for you, it's been very enlightening for me. It's also a moment for me to reflect. And for me, the people who are out there, if you're in a Chama or investment group or any other kind of group that people come together so they can pool their financial resources to have bigger financial muscles, it's very clear to me that there is only one reason why people should come together. To create a platform where you provide your members with access to opportunities that they otherwise would not be able to access as individuals. If a group fails this particular test, then their existence will continuously be questioned, and you'll have wrangles and you have all manner of problems. There must be a mission that is bigger than all the members of the group individually. That's very clear. And this mission must also be put on paper. It is one thing to dream, it's one thing to have all the coffees, all the mandazis, all the social things that we do when we come together and enjoy each other's company and dream and articulate, but if we don't put it on paper, it remains just a dream. And as we said, if you, like Jim Rohn said, if people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So put that dream on paper. Let that dream be something that you review regularly. Let that dream put all of you to become accountable to one another. The other thing that we said is you need a financial advisor. Don't be one of those groups that commit to doing it for yourself. I call it do-it-yourself disease that has hindered and killed so many dreams. Get an expert in whatever field that you're investing. Let them walk you through. It is better to pay a small consultancy fee than to lose a lot of money by making the wrong financial decisions. The other thing that came out very, very important is there is already a lot of wealth out there, and the only thing that is very clear, your share of that wealth will be limited to how big you think, how big is your mindset collectively. So dream big, be limitless. The world is for us to enjoy. Create those dreams, go for those dreams. It is possible if it is possible in your mind. So I hope this conversation has been amazing to all of you. It has been amazing to me. I'm also reflecting. So go out there, do this thing together. We said when people come together, great things happen.
Yes.
So God bless you. Shalom. See you next time.